Hello, my friend. Welcome to live chat. And I have a cheering news for those of you, cheering news, like that makes sense. I have some great news for people that watch live chat. The program that I use now allows me to upload in 1080p. So the quality improvement right now, I am so happy. I just had to share that with you from a nerdy tech end. I'm so excited that it actually looks not blurry. So if you're watching, hi, it's good to see you nice and clear. I'm so happy. Thank you for being here. Today's live chat, thought we would talk about this trend that we're seeing about, different celebrities and influencers going on podcasts and just spilling all their secrets. It is a phenomenon, my friend, but I think I understand why. I think I've been around enough influencers, and I've been an content creator. Never was the best influencer, but as far as I didn't really influence a whole lot of purchases in my lifetime, but yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been around and seen a lot of things and been in this industry for a while, that I feel like I have a kind of a unique perspective on this, and reasons why I think there are so many people going on podcasts and just going blah and just spilling all their secrets. It's interesting. It's kind of a phenomenon right now. So I thought we would talk about that today. I don't know if it's going to take the whole chat. So if it doesn't, we can talk about other things when we finish that up. But I thought that would be a nice starting place, especially with Tati going on Michelle Phan's podcast last week, with Jaclyn Hill going on a bunch of podcasts and talking about lipsticks. And there's a bunch of other podcasts outside of the direct beauty space where people are sharing a lot of things. So, but YouTube, beauty adjacent circles. So I thought that would be an interesting place to start. So that's what we're going to be doing today. But before we do that, I would really love to just very quickly, first thing, as I want to give a shout out to my shirt very quickly. It says supporting character energy by the French Roast Clothing Company, which is Jamie French merch. We actually had Jamie French on the live chat podcast before it was a podcast. We had Jamie French on there. If you look back in my catalog long enough, you will find my interview with the fabulous Jamie French as she was getting her come up. So I did purchase my Jamie French merch. She is about to go out on tour, which I'm so excited for her, so happy for her. Jamie and I aren't in constant contact by any means, but I would consider her a business acquaintance, and very, very happy for her. So I bought this shirt because I thought it was super freaking cool. So shout out to that, and shout out to the people that are here live in the collective brain of makeup awesomeness. If you are not here live, that's totally fine. You can participate in the comment section down below. So good morning to Cynthia. Good to see you. Good morning, Chloe. Good to see you as well. Hello, Tish. I'm excited for this topic too. I think it's going to be an interesting one. I'm curious to hear what other people have to say about it. I have my own thoughts, but I want to hear what other people have to say. Roya, good morning to you. Hello, Flory. Happy Sunday. Flory says, time for another lively What's Up in Makeup chat. Flory is one of our fabulous moderators. Thank you for being here, Flory. Flory has been a part of my team for as long as I can remember, back in the good old days. Teresa was too. Flory's been around really long time. She was one of my What's Up in Makeup reporters back in the day. But yeah, and I've met Flory. We've spent time together with her lovely husband, and yeah, Flory is definitely a big part of my What's Up in Makeup journey. And I don't normally highlight Flory's comments, so I want to take just a moment to celebrate Flory and thank her for all that she's done to help me keep this channel going over the years. So thank you, Flory, for being moderator of chat. And right below her is the fabulous Teresa, another moderator, welcoming everybody to chat. Thank you to our moderators, Flory, Teresa, Audra, and Steph, for always being here and for making sure that we have a nice, happy, safe place to chat. Carrie, good morning to you. Happy Sunday. Got pop-ups. Teresa says, Day, cats are helping me this morning. Oh, that's nice. Ms. Lavender, hello. Hello to Toronto. I do enjoy Toronto. Have some poutine for me. It's one of the must-dos when I go to Toronto, is to get some poutine, because the United States does not know how to do that. I don't understand why. It doesn't seem like it would be that hard in reality, but you cannot get good poutine in the US. Even from really nice restaurants. Like you can go to a street shop in Toronto and get the best freaking poutine, and you can't go to a five-star restaurant in the US and get good poutine. It's unbelievable to me how much we mess it up here. So say hello to Toronto for me. I do very much love that city. First time I went there, I was in high school, actually, on an exchange trip. We did an exchange trip with Mississauga High School, and that was an interesting thing. Story for another day. I think I've told pieces of that story before. Hello, Tracy. Happy Sunday to you. Cynthia says countdown shows that she's live in 66 minutes. Yeah, that was an oopsie. It said 11 o'clock. I don't know why. I think I just messed up I clicked the wrong button. Definitely. Gabrielle, good morning to you. Saying my lip was gorgeous in What's Up in Makeup today. Thank you. I actually will be sharing that with you tomorrow in What's Up in Makeup for when I do my PR Purchase Product of the Week, just so you know what that is. They're the new ColourPop, super dry, super uncomfortable, long-lasting lipsticks. And the shades are Dirty Chai was the light shade that I used, and the shade, no, that's the darker shade, and Just Barely is the lighter shade I used in the middle. Dropping things. Yeah, they're really dry. They remind me of really dry liquid lipsticks. By the end of me recording, about 2.5 hours it took me to record both parts. And yeah, my lips were cracking and dry. You'll see it tomorrow in the product report. But Phoenix, for the record, really, really likes the red one that they stole from me. So if you don't mind dry liquid lips, you'll probably really like them. But for me, it's an absolute no-go. Those were sent to me in PR. Sorry, ColourPop. I give them props when they deserve it, and it's just not a product for me. I think other people will like it though. But thank you, Gabrielle. I did like the look, but did not like the feel. So we're wearing something a lot more comfortable today. We'll talk about it later. If I did not say good morning to you, I feel like I've rambled on enough. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. So we do have a little shout out for Pretty When You're Drunk. Thank you so much. She says, glad I could help with the Britney fragrance story. Really appreciate that. Karen actually, I think I got your name. I'm pretty sure I remember right. Gave me the lawsuit that we went over in the Britney Spears fragrance story. I was like, when she first sent it to me, I was like, okay, I'm going to procrastinate on this because lawsuits, they kind of melt my brain a little bit because I'm not formally trained. But when I got into it, I was like, oh my gosh, twists and turns here and there. And actually, I was rereading it after I finished filming, and I actually found a couple more things in there that the people over at, if you haven't watched it yet, it's a whole like behind the scenes sabotage accusation. So after you've watched it, you'll understand this, that there, besides the one guy over at GBB that used to work with Revlon Europe, there's actually other people at GBB that used to work with Revlon. So it's like they definitely, I don't know why they have it out for Revlon, but something's going on over there. So I'm going to be watching that one now and seeing, I have the docket, and seeing if anything pops off over there. And if anything pops off, I'll download it. And I now have a Pacer account that is a limited Pacer account. So I can download a certain number of legal files every month. So, and after that, I think I have to pay a fee, but I'll pay it. It's whatever. So yeah, I'm very excited to have that. So thank you so much for contributing that. I appreciate you so much. And also thank you for being a member for an entire year. I appreciate you. That story is one of the last stories, the second to last story in What's Up in Makeup today. Highly recommend. It is a banger, if I must say so myself. Okay, so yes, I am nosy too, Julie. I am very nosy. So it's the actual file. If you go under the video, you can actually click on it and look at it. I just put the link there for you to look at in case you'd like to. Yes. Okay. I did get it right, Karen. I thought I had it right in my head, but I'm really bad with names. So it was like, I'm 80% sure it was Karen. So I'm glad I got that right. All right. So let us talk about today's topic. What I've noticed is this trend of podcasts of people just spilling the tea. And I want to bring this back to a story I've told many times. And it's a story about a gentleman named Sanders Kennedy, who was the original beauty drama channel. And my attending with Sanders of a Generation Beauty in Los Angeles. And I believe this might have been the one, possibly, I could be wrong here, where Tati and James met. Tati and James Charles met. Possibly. Not sure if it's the same one. But anyway, I think it was. So Sanders and I were acquaintances at the time, and we had decided that we were just going to hang out at the event. So we were walking around together. And Sanders got me into, Tati actually mentions it in the podcast with Michelle Phan, what they called the Green Room. The Green Room at Generation Beauty was a place where the biggest names would hang out. It was kind of a safe place. There were snacks and drinks and stuff, like not alcoholic drinks, I don't think so, but there were snacks and sodas and stuff like that for people to go if they wanted to not be with the masses. Because you have to remember, at Generation Beauty, the people who were the big names had to have security. It was like the freaking Beatles. All right. I remember this one time at a Generation Beauty, there was a cluster of them, and it was a big circle, and they had all the security around them. They were walking through the event, and Nikki Tutorials was in the middle, and she is so tall. Like, if you've never seen Nikki Tutorials next to somebody, I don't know how tall Nikki is, but she's well over 6 foot. So Nikki was towering over everybody, and there's this cluster of people, and they're walking through this event in a clump with security around them, and people are just chasing them. Like screaming their names and stuff like that. It was absolute freaking madness. I was like, what is going on? So anyway, the reason why this Green Room existed was for people like that to have a place where they could mingle and relax and not have to worry about any of that. I got in, not of my own accord, because I was not at that level. People were not mobbing me. Never has happened. Yeah, never has happened. But Sanders got me into the Green Room, and that's where I met Kathleen Lights for the first time, was in that Green Room. And one thing that I noticed about Sanders, this is where it gets relevant, is that multiple times when I was with him during that day, people told him things in front of me, secrets, like things that were like, asking him advice, telling him all of this stuff. And I'm like, what is even happening? Like, why are they telling you this? Because remember, Sanders was a drama channel. Okay. I mean, he had back in the beginning, he had a pretty good reputation for being for saying the truth, but he knew so, and he told me a couple of things, like, you can't tell anybody at this, and then he shared a couple of things because we were just in the middle of a conversation, and he told me a couple of things. I mean, nothing major, nothing like where the person would be like, it wasn't like, it was little things, little tiny things, but things also that were told to him in confidence that he didn't want out there. But it was not anything like serious or major that he was sharing with me. Anyway, so people that are in the public eye, my point in telling you this story is that people that are in the public eye, celebrities, people that are have a lot of opinions about them. So you're a public figure, you have people, millions of people that have opinions about you. And in that, naturally, there are going to be people that are going to have different opinions. There's going to be people that are going to like you. There's going to be people that don't like you. And I think that the hardest part that I've had, having a minor taste of this, the hardest part is when people get a story wrong and they start telling that story wrong, and it makes you look really bad when you know for a fact that that's not what happened. That's not what happened. Like, and they're like going off on this tangent and just straight making things up. And people that, in beauty, back then, drama channels were huge, getting hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views on a video. And some people didn't have it right. And they would spread rumors, and they would say things that were inaccurate. And then those things would be carried on. And there's Reddit threads and all kinds of things where people are having discussions and people are getting it all wrong. And as that person, you can't correct it. Like, you actually can't. And I will tell you something very embarrassing about myself is that I used to go on, like, when I first started getting people doing that to me, I used to go on the gossip websites and try to correct things and say, well, actually, this is not actually what happened. And I was told that I was not allowed to be there. I was told specifically that I was not allowed to comment. and correct people when they got things wrong about me, which was extremely frustrating. I was told on a different one because I was so upset. I was really upset that people were getting the stories wrong. Another one told me that I needed to tread lightly, that I needed to, like, I don't know, like, that I was I don't know, it was really upsetting and really frustrating because people have a right to not like a celebrity, absolutely, right? But it's really hard to have to sit back and just eat it. You know, it's really hard to just sit back and have to watch everybody get a story wrong and not be able to say anything. Like you can't like and the thing is like some people might say, "Well, why don't these people go on and say it on their own channels?" And it's very similar reason because if let's say Tati wanted to tell her sobriety story before she went on Michelle's podcast, it's possible that people might have said, you know, why are you making this about you? Or, like, I don't know about the sobriety story. Let's talk about Jacqueline and the lipsticks, okay? And her trying to rewrite history on that. It seems to be really eating her up that people have this opinion about what happened with the lipsticks, and she does not like that narrative of what's in the court documents. So she wants to spread the narrative that makes her look better, right? But if she actually made a video saying all of that, she would get wrecked. You know that. You know she would get wrecked. So the safer way is to go on a podcast and tell a story because somebody asked them the question, right? Somebody asked them the question. So they're just answering it, right? So it's really a way to, in Jacqueline's case, in my opinion, to get her narrative out there and also to get things off of her chest and to say what she wants to say about it. In Tati's case, if she brings up James Charles on her YouTube channel right now, are you kidding me? She can't bring up James Charles on her YouTube channel, but she can on Michelle's podcast. She absolutely can on Michelle's podcast. So I think that it's that there's a bottling up of that. And, even again, like my stories of things that I've made mistakes on where I feel like, the base of it is true, but things, got wiggled out and ended up, there's a lot of things people don't know about situations that I got myself involved in that I wish that I could share, but I don't think that it would be good for me to bring that back up. You know what I'm saying? So if I ever got on a podcast, I might share some of those things. Because it does bottle up inside you when you feel like people are misunderstanding a situation. And I think with Tati specifically, the thing about, when she was saying about one thing people don't understand, and I included it in What's Up in Makeup today. One thing people don't understand is that I didn't go back on what I said in Bye Sister. She's like, I didn't say that everything was a lie. I didn't say that it wasn't true what I said in Bye Sister. Like, she's like, I didn't take it back. Everything still was true that I said in Bye Sister. I just wish I handled it differently, is what she said. She said, I wish I just handled it privately, but that doesn't mean that what I said wasn't true. Because a lot of people do accuse Tati of going back on everything in Bye Sister. And that, I feel like, was Tati's moment to try to explain that and try to clear up what she feels to be a misunderstanding, that she didn't go back on it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, that's the big thing that I wanted to share as far as why I think, I mean, I do have some other opinions that I will probably, I'll probably share, as we discuss, but that was kind of the biggest thing. Yeah, Monica diffusing things, it trying to diffuse it. And it's so complicated because you really can't do it on your own platform and you can't correct it anywhere else. So really it gives an outlet. So all these things that people have been holding in for all these years, it gives them a way to let it out, you know? Um, Angie says, what? Seriously? You're not allowed to set the story straight about yourself? No, absolutely not. Nope. That's ridiculous behavior on their part. You can't stop someone from speaking the truth. I'm sorry people do that. Oh, no, it's totally fine. It's just the culture of those communities. And the thing is it's not my community. It's not my place to tell them how to run their sites or their Reddit threads or whatever. It's not my place. It's not my place to tell them what they need to do in their own space. right? And one of the best advice pieces that I got, and I wish I could remember who gave me this, probably multiple people. They said, you know what? When people talk about you on the internet, and this is something I want to share in case anybody watching ever has this happen to them, people talking about them on the internet. Maybe you go viral for some reason, or you're a content creator or whatever, and you know these places are created so that they don't come to your place. You know, the amount of negativity in my comment section is very minimal. And I think part of the reason why is because there are places like this on the internet where people can just talk crap about you and they can get it out and they can have their own community and their own space to do this. And it's a way for them to have that community and that conversation without bringing it to mine. So I am thankful for that. I'm thankful that they don't bring it to my space, and that they can have their own space and have their own opinions, because they have an absolute right to have their own opinions. My issue was that I wasn't allowed to correct misinformation. I forget what the exact wording was because it was many years ago, but yeah, but I do think that a lot of celebrities and influencers have gone through that on much grander scale. I mean, and think about the size of my channel. You know, I talk about going to Generation Beauty. Nobody was mobbing me. I had people come up to me and say, "Hey, can I take a picture with you and stuff?" But it was like, in the span of 4 hours, maybe 20 people, which is still really cool and very exciting and very fun. But the contrast of what I was being able to experience at a Generation Beauty versus what like Manny and Laura and Nikita and Gabriel and Nikki and all the people that were huge then experiencing it, it was a totally different level. So it comes down to the same thing as far as misinformation being spread. I experienced the 20 people level. They experience the mass misunderstanding. I mean, think about like how widespread Dramageddon 1 and 2 were, and 3. And that it went to the point of being in mainstream media. That is a whole other level. So I want to make sure I make a distinction there, that what I experienced was not nearly to the level of something that Tati would have experienced. So yeah. And I don't shame anybody for going to those sites either. Please do not do not think that I shame you for going. Like, I feel like there are good people that go to those sites and there are people that have bad intentions, but that's every community. Every community there's people that are awful, and every community there's people that are good. It's just the way that it is. That's just life. Lorenzo says, Tati says that people wanted to use her for clout, but at the same time, she says she always saw herself as an underdog, the small fish. I think, okay, so this is what I think about that. I think that Tati had to have known her level of importance in our beauty space. She had to have known, right? So yeah, I mean, I think what she said, like in hindsight, like when I really think about it, because I said I didn't think she was the underdog. Last week, we had this full conversation about, was Tati the underdog? Because she said she always felt like the underdog. I think that she was saying that in the context of the people that she was at the Space Needle with, in the context of Jeffrey and James, who were more popular than her at the time. It might have been in the context of this other friend group that she was talking about in the interview with Michelle Phan back in like 2014, 2015, 2016, whenever that was, somewhere in that time window. Maybe that was when she felt like the underdog. But that's where I was conflicted last week, Lorenzo, which is with what you're saying right now, is that she had to have known how big of a channel she was. I do still think the underdog comment's a little weird, but maybe that stems from her start and her come up and the fact that she was coming out of rehab onto YouTube. Maybe that's why she saw herself as an underdog, because she was coming from such a traumatic past, from this really dark place into the beauty space. And maybe that's where that came from. I don't know. But you're right. There is a bit of a contradiction there. And I would imagine that they are in two compartments in her brain. Does that make sense? Two compartments in your brain? Is that something that just I think of? Or is that something other people think of, that sometimes you have different thoughts about the same thing, but they're like kind of separate because you've never fully brought them together into one complete thought? know if that even makes any sense. Sometimes I don't know if people understand, like if my brain just works differently or if everybody thinks like that. I have no idea. Like a social dysmorphia, Jennifer says, maybe, maybe, I don't know. Maybe. We have a new member of the Collective Brain Elite, Alicia. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I saw something. Yeah, maybe this is it, Pharaoh. It feels like she felt like an underdog in the tier she was in. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Dalji. Hopefully I said that okay. I think she calls herself a small fish because she doesn't take sponsors left and right, which means she doesn't get paid as much compared to her peers. Maybe back then. Back then, I think that you're right, maybe. Now that's not true. Now she's doing all the sponsorships now. Now the left and right is definitely happening, but maybe back then that would have probably made more sense. I don't know. Maybe like not going on as many brand trips and not, being involved as much in that piece. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh no, Audra, what are you talking about? Audra says I get gassy just thinking about it. Probably attention on you. Probably attention on you. Let me see what your other comment was. I have 30 seconds set between comments. Let me see what Audra's other comment was. It was probably attention on you. Oh, doing Twitch things. Doing Twitch things. Gotcha. Okay. Very cool. Thank you for being here. I know Audra does not like a ton of attention on them. So yeah. Susan says, I think until you really digest your feelings, it can be like a split brain thing. Your thoughts aren't solid yet. Yeah, and I think that that's something also that happens on these podcasts sometimes is that they have these thoughts, but they've never really thought them through until they start talking. And then, like we were talking about that in about Tati talk in By Sister, how she starts off blaming Gabriel Zamora and blaming, I need to explain when I do something big in my life, like end of friendship. Like that's where it starts. And like as far as her reason for making By Sister. And then By Sister ends with, I heard James Charles was talking to drama channels and was going to try to take me down. So therefore I needed to come out first. So it's that progression of putting things together in your mind. Sometimes just saying it out loud can bring those thoughts together from those two compartments and blend them together. Okay. Do you all understand what I'm saying? Okay, good. Because sometimes I don't know if I'm making any sense. Claudia says his brain also has several compartments. There you go. There you go. Veronique says, beautiful in a room of ugly girls. You don't feel the same if you're in a room of a top model. I can see that perspective too. I don't know if that was Tati specifically, but yeah, I can see that that's definitely something that people can experience. So yeah. Ellen says, you do have two hemispheres in the brain. I don't know enough about brains to know where the compartments are that hold my two sets of information. But yeah, like cognitive dissonance, possibly. I cannot off the top of my head tell you what cognitive dissonance means, even though I've heard that term many times. And I feel like I should know that off the top of my head. But I'll have to Google that when we're done because I should know that definition off the top of my head. Karen, if someone says they feel a certain way, I don't argue or question it. Invalidating their feelings doesn't make how or what they feel different. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's something that can happen in these situations where, like, let's say, like Jaclyn Hill with the lipsticks, people saying that Jaclyn was playing the victim and all this stuff, which fair. But also, I do think that's important to recognize that even during all of the things that Jaclyn was doing and choosing to do that I don't agree with, she's still a human being with feelings. She's still a person that is allowed to feel and have valid feelings during that situation. And I think sometimes when someone makes a mistake like Jaclyn or, Manny or Laura or whoever, it's easy to dismiss genuine feelings that they're having during that time period that don't make them a victim. But at the same time, they are valid feelings that the person has to feel during that period of time, if you know what I mean. And People aren't allowed to talk about that. You're not allowed to talk about your feelings when you have made a mistake because that centers you in it. This is totally valid. I'm not arguing with this as a thing and that this is right. Please make sure I'm clear on this. I do think that this is a right logic, right? I do agree that if you have made a mistake publicly and you are in the wrong, you should not be centering yourself in the public eye as the victim of the situation, period. It needs to be about the people that you've hurt, the people that you have misrepresented, or the people that you have, it should be about your mistake and trying to figure out how to correct that as quickly and as smoothly as possible, as much as you can correct it. It shouldn't be about your feelings. That being said, that person is going to have feelings as well. And during that time period, in my opinion, it's best to feel those feelings privately and not publicly. But those feelings are valid. They are still valid feelings. It's just not the time to share those. And I think that with podcasts, especially years after the fact, it may be the time to share those feelings of how a person was feeling when they were trying not to center themselves in a mistake that they made. You know what I mean? So I think that that's coming out as well. Those kinds of things, because you're absolutely right. We shouldn't be invalidating people's feelings, but I think in a situation where someone has created a problem, their feelings in that moment should not be the focus. So podcasts, I believe, give an outlet for that. All right, speaking of that, let us take a little bit of a break and let us talk about what is on my face today. I do not believe I knew we did a shout out earlier. I don't believe we shouted out Ellen. Ellen, thank you so much for becoming a member of the Collective Brain Elite. I appreciate you so much. I'm a little slow and today I didn't get a ton of sleep last night. So I apologize if my brain is not functioning on all cylinders today. As far as remembering things, that's usually the first thing to go for me. All right, let's talk about what's on my face. So everything here was sent in PR. Let's talk about my eyeshadow. Loving my look today. I've been really loving doing more simple looks when I'm not filming, and I really need to do more simple looks when I am filming because I really love the way this came out today. So this is the palette from What's Up Beauty, and it is the Dragon Eye palette. I don't know if this is still available, but of course What's Up Beauty is still around, and they have beautiful, beautiful eyeshadow palettes. There we go. There's the, if you're watching, there is the palette. I use the shade down here, this like taupey brown shade, and then also this duochrome shade called Fire. It is like a brown green duochrome. I will go ahead and swatch those on my hand real quick because these sleeves are actually quite difficult to pull up. So I will just swatch those two shades. That is all that's on my eyes today. And these shades are absolutely freaking gorgeous. So you can see when I turn my hand, that duochrome actually matches the matte shade. But then when I turn it back, it turns gold. And it's really fun. It is a really good pairing. Like, I don't know if they did that on purpose, but oh my gosh, I love this pairing so much. And that's literally all that's on my eyes today. Highly recommend checking out What's Up Beauty. They do eyeshadow palettes really, really well. On my cheeks today, I dipped into my Too Faced Natural Chocolate Bronzer. Too Faced, I will give them props where I can. They are crushing the bronzer game for I don't know about every single skin tone, but in my life, they are doing the things for me. The powder bronzers, the cream bronzers, the stick bronzers, like I don't reach for, this is the brand that I reach for me right now that is my favorite for bronzers, which is kind of a weird category to have a favorite of, but every time I love the way that it looks. I can't mess it up when it comes to Too Faced bronzers. For my blush today, these were sent to me by Koki a while ago, but I love them. These are their soft gradient blushes. This is in the shade Bellissima. So freaking beautiful. It's got this beautiful print in it that takes a long time to go away, which I absolutely love. And it's beautifully pigmented, buildable. It's just a really, really nice formula. And then on my lips today, I have the Sigma Lip Creme, and it is in the shade Oh my gosh. I want to say Dapper. I want to say it's Dapper. I can't freaking read it. All right, we're going to do the thing. I'm going to take a picture of it because this is going to drive me absolutely freaking bonkers. I'm going to take a picture of it and then I'm going to zoom it in so I can tell you because I can't freaking see it anymore. Oh, of course it's blurry. It's more, sorry, I didn't mean to cackle in your ear. It's more blurry than it should be. Okay, let's do it again. Okay. All right, let's do it one more time. Focus, focus, focus. Okay, let's see if I can get it this time. Watch it be upside down or some dumb. Okay. Dapper. I was right. Dapper. It's still blurry, but it's less blurry than my eyeballs. I freaking love this. This is so neglected in my collection. I don't know why I don't use this every dang day. I pulled it out and I was like, I love this. Look at the doe foot. It's like a Fenty gloss bomb looking doe foot. And it's got the little reservoir in there to hold the product. And it's so soft and squishy on the lips. And it's just a really soft, comfortable formula. Oh my gosh, why am I neglecting this? Why? So good. So good. And also another shout out to the new Sigma Skin Perfecting Hydrating Tint in the shade 3. Somebody that has wrinkles, I love that this exists because a lot of the more full coverage foundations are really starting to go into my wrinkles bad. So I appreciate lighter coverage products because they don't cake like thinner products. They don't cake up and accentuate those creases as my face moves throughout the day. Oh, and one more thing I wanted to shout out. I hadn't tried Benefits Bad Gal Bang in a while, and they sent me this NPR recently, and I actually really like this. I was surprised. I didn't remember loving this the way that I do now. It's volumizing mostly, but it's giving a significant amount of length as well. I'll show you the wand. Oh, sorry if that noise was really weird in your ear. I didn't realize, forgot that mascaras make a sound when you take the wand out, but it's just one of those really thin, very small, skinny, tree-shaped looking wands. So yeah, I really have been enjoying this and I can feel there's a lot of product in here, which makes me really happy. A lot of wet product in the tube because like the what you call it, I don't know. It was another mascara that I've liked recently. Like I've already feel like it's drying out and I'm like, why does it feel so clumpy in there? Like this feels like there's some good, solid, long wearing like liquid in there. All right. That's all I wanted to share with you today. And yeah, let's keep chatting. We have about 23 minutes left. We have lots of time. Very excited about that. All right. Melissa says her channel was unique, talking about Tati, and actually felt honest at the time. She was huge because she felt the most grounded. Absolutely, totally agree. Also beautiful, also talented, also background on point, lighting on point, just production value on point. The zoom ins, I copied I used to do the zoom ins on products the way that Tati did, totally copied that off of Tati. The way she used to I don't know if she still does it, like the zoom on the products and everything and making it look super cute. Yeah, production value, 10 out of 10, especially for back then. Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. All right, I'm going to do the scrolling down. Yeah, I think that's really interesting. Alexandra says your video last week set the tone for the podcast Tati did. I was really honestly very surprised to see Tati on Michelle's podcast. I was like, what? Wait a minute. So we've been talking about Michelle's podcast on What's It in Makeup, and I just did a video on Dramageddon 3, Dramageddon 2. Like they're like blending, and I did not expect that, which was, really kind of cool that I could kind of pull those two things together. And I'm glad that you felt like it set the tone for the podcast. I really like one thing I really am so excited about that video is that I don't think anybody's corrected me on anything. It's a 2.5 hour video, and I don't think anybody's corrected anything, which is, I think, a first for me because usually I mess up something. Being one person with one eyes, but it was so important for me to get that story right. Like that's why it took so long. Is I wanted to make sure I watched all the things and did all the things and made sure I had everything, and I triple checked and quadruple checked, and I'm so excited that it worked out. That I feel like I did do a good job on that video, and that people really enjoyed it and they got a lot out of it. And I know it's not for everybody. But your content can't be for everybody. Like not every story, not every video is going to be for everybody, which is 100%. But But yeah, I'm really proud of that video. I'm really proud of it, and I'm really glad that people have enjoyed watching it and, gotten something out of it too, and that it did. Really, I felt like if you watch that first, it lent some context to what Tati was talking about in the podcast. So Anisha says, as soon as I saw Michelle Phan's podcast, my immediate thought was, oh my gosh, what does Jen think? I thought it was good. I did. I did think it was good. I did. It's good to hear that stuff coming out of Tati's mouth and not just be, me saying, I think that Tati thinks. And what I'm assuming happened. It's like, it's good to hear it coming directly from the people, you know? Julie says, y'all, I went to Sephora and found a much better Patrick Ta bronzer match than what I have. Oh, nice. I checked the shade twice, checked my records, and still managed to purchase the shade I already have. No! No, I'm so sorry. Oh, no. I don't own any Patrick Ta because that was post me doing a lot of reviews when Patrick Ta really started blowing up. I had already started weaning myself off of reviews. So, yeah. Oh, that's so weird. Mel says, I just checked. I see the join option on Brian Taylor Cohen's, but not on Jen's channel. There should be a join option underneath the video. Maybe when the live stream isn't live, or if you go to What's Up in Makeup, I think that it's there. If you wanted to join. So, but just so you know, there's no perks. It's $1.99 a month, and there's literally like the perks are extremely minimal. Extremely minimal as they can possibly be. It's basically just a tip, which I very, very much appreciate because it does add up. It genuinely does. So, Julie, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Happens to the best of us. Happens to the best of us. Thank you, Melissa. Melissa said I did an amazing job. Thank you so much. Not to pat myself on the back, but pat. I feel like I did good on that one. Hopefully, I can do the next one, the last one, justice too. I am still very much working on it. I'm about a third of the way through the script. I do think I need to take at least half a day off tomorrow. We had a big block party yesterday in my neighborhood. We have them once a year, and the homeowners association, they put up a tent and they buy everybody pizza and all that stuff. And it happens to be right outside my house. So everybody from the neighborhood was at this block party mingling, and somebody was asking about my channel, and I was like, yeah. And they're like, well, how many days do you take off? And I was like, I don't know, like a total of like one, half of Sunday, half of Monday. And Phoenix was standing next to me, and Phoenix was like, when? When do you take off? I was like, do you really take off? Like, really? Do you really? Like, I was like, yeah, kind of. And they were like, Mom, come on. I was like, okay. Well, I try to take off. I do, but then I end up getting sucked back in, and I need to take more time off. I do. And then this morning, Phoenix was talking to their girlfriend on FaceTime, and I was walking by, and they're like, "What are you doing today?" And I was like, "I got chat." And then they're like, "What are you doing after chat?" And I was, because they probably want to be driving to the mall or something. And I was like, "I have to edit the product report, and the product report's really long tomorrow." And they were like, "Yes, this is exactly what I was saying about the block party yesterday, is that you don't take days off." I need to, though, because it's important. It's important to take days off. It is. But the thing is, I love my job, so it's hard to, like, sometimes I feel like my job is also my hobby too, because I actually enjoy doing the things. But I need to like step away from these topics. I've been dreaming. I will tell you that I've been dreaming about Tati and Jeffree Star and James Charles. They've been infiltrating my dreams. Like, I don't even remember what the plots are. I just know that they're there. It's nothing nefarious or creepy or weird or anything. They're just showing up in my dreams because I can't. I've been living this. So anyway, it's weird. I know it's weird, and I know it sounds weird to talk about that, but it's like when you've watched a movie before you went to bed and then you dream about the movie. It's kind of like that. Highland Eggs, Jen, you are something special. Oh, I didn't read your comment before I clicked. I just saw you in this beauty social media space. So many respect you, even if we don't agree with you. I know sometimes we don't always agree. We still understand your point of view. Yes. And no, we're not ever going to always agree. And that's totally okay. It's totally okay. Um, yeah, I know when your children spill your tea. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I know. They're just like I remember waking up, Jeffree Star was in my I forget what was the reason why. And I woke up and I was like, why is Jeffree in my dream? Like, why? I can't escape this even in sleep. I can't escape it even in sleep. I was talking to Teresa's dad through Marco Polo, which is the video chatting app that a lot of us use, and I was telling them, I was like, I will love when I don't listen to his videos anymore. When I'm done with that, when I close it up, that I don't enjoy him. I don't enjoy him, and you can't enjoy everybody. Not everybody's going to enjoy you. It's just the way that it is. But I particularly don't enjoy his channel, and I'm really looking forward to being done with that piece, just because it's not my thing. So yeah, it's very like, give me freedom, give me freedom from this man. And is what it is what it is. So yeah. Yeah, exactly. So Sophie Apple says, I don't agree at all with your thoughts on Dramageddon. Cool. However, I appreciate the timeline and deep dive. Yeah. So that's the thing is it's like the most important thing for me is getting out the information. The opinion piece is secondary, right? Because I want to be able to give people that are watching my videos the information so y'all can develop your own opinion. Because the thing is we all have our own experiences. We all have our own biases. We all have our own perspectives on life based on the things that we've experienced in our lives and the people that we've met and the lessons that we've learned or haven't learned. And that will lead us to coming to conclusions about different situations. And nobody is going to be the same. And it's normal, it's natural, it's fine to have different perspectives. So understanding that and having that be a core value of what I'm trying to do here, giving you the information. So like Sophie's saying, giving you that timeline so that you can then take all those pieces and use all of the things that you've accumulated in your brain through your lifetime to come to your own conclusions. That's fantastic. I love that. And I love that we don't have to agree. And that's one thing I was thinking about this the other day is I feel like in the past like 4 years, I've become an adult. Like, I'm 46, which a lot of people don't believe me. I was born in 1978. I graduated high school in 1996. A lot of people are like, "Oh, yeah," and thank you. Thank you. Some of it's skincare, some of it's genetics. Um, but thank you. Anyway, you know, even at 41, 42 years old, I don't think my brain was operating at an adult level in a lot of ways. And I think through some things that, some things in, 2020 and 2021 were rough years for me for multiple reasons. And I think through those years, I really like looking back, it's like I really became an adult in 2022 after like the hindsight of 2020 and 2021 were over. My progression to this point now, I feel like I've really gotten to some adult perspectives that I fully get now. Like people can tell you things, but it's different to internalize those things. Like the whole thing about not needing everybody to like you and all that stuff. Like I knew that stuff, but did I internalize it? Not for a long time. And I think that journey is different for different people. So having that perspective, I think, has improved my content being more of an adult. Because I do think that I was operating from a level of immaturity, even as a full grown 40-year-old woman. I think I was still operating from a level of immaturity, 40, 41, 42. So I think one thing that I think is lost about people that are older is that older people are always mature. Oh, that she was in her 30s, she should have known better, or he, should have known better at this age. He's an adult. He shouldn't have. This doesn't count for illegal acts. Not excusable. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about illegal things. I'm talking about social constructs and social interactions specifically. The people assume that just because somebody's older that they should have known better for something, but I don't think that that's true. I think that everybody's on their own journey of exploration of learning about society and about other people. And just because someone's older doesn't mean that they've learned the lessons that they've needed to learn in order to be a mature adult. And that's okay. And that's okay. There are some people that will never become a mature adult. Never. Because they don't care or because they don't have the ability. But I think a lot of people just don't care to become a mature adult. They are so self-involved. And this is just a select group of people. If it doesn't, please don't think I'm attacking anybody in particular. But I think some people just don't. They're so stuck in their own egos and their own needing to be right, and that they don't listen and they don't try to be better people. They don't care from very young, don't care. And I think a level of caring is important in order to grow as an adult. You do have to care to an extent about how your actions are affecting other people. Like the IDGAF mindset is great in certain circumstances, but it's catastrophic in others. Um, it's important to care because that's what helps us to be better, not just for ourselves, but for the people that are around us. And when people get stuck in that mindset, it stunts growth. It stunts our ability to become mature adults and adults that can function in society and get along with others in a functional way. And I think we all know people like that who are just socially not able to work with other people or care about working with other people or care about other people's feelings, and in turn are not kind. So I think that the thought that at an age you'll be a mature adult, at what age is that? I think it's different for different people, and I don't think having a fully formed brain is the only factor. A chronological number is not the only factor. It's your life experiences and your willingness to accept feedback and your willingness to grow and change as a person and to be better really is what brings you to being a mature adult. So that's just my thoughts. I've been yapping at you for a while. So let me see what y'all are saying because I've been yapping. That was a long one. People are fascinating, Mons. They really are. They really, really are. Absolutely fascinating. Yeah, yeah, Tiffany, I'm 53 and neurodivergent. I still feel like I haven't fully become an adult. But I think the thing is as long as we're trying, as long as we're putting in that effort and we're doing the best we can, I think that's all we can do. I think my issue comes when people just don't care about the effect that they have on other people and just dismiss it. That's when I kind of have an issue. But I think as long as we're always trying to be better and we're always trying to improve our interactions with others so that we can contribute better, so that we can get along with others better, so we don't harm anybody, or do as little harm as possible. I think that that's the most important thing, and I don't feel like I'm done growing. There's still a lot for me to learn. I'm not going to sit here and say I am now a fully formed adult. I now know everything. I am done growing, because I'm absolutely not. Absolutely not. I still have a lot of things that I want to be better at. Um, but it's a process. And I feel like, these past few years have really been pivotal for me in that process, but I'm definitely not done. I'll be learning until I'm not breathing anymore. I'll be learning till the day I'm done. And that's what I choose to do. That's a choice, because I'm also all about freedom too. If people want to choose to be dicks their whole lives, they can choose to do that. It's not my business. It's not my business if you want to be an a-hole. Like that's not my business. You do you, boo. It's what some people say. Some people say that. You do you. Like if I don't it's not my business if somebody wants to be a jerk their whole life, but that's not my journey. I would really like to not. That's just me. Trying to see. Stacy says, "I'm not a mature adult, but in a different way." Yeah, and having fun and being silly and goofy as, I love watching TikToks of older people being silly and goofy and, playing with toys and collecting things and the things that we're not supposed to do as adults. Live your best life. Live your best life. This is just my personal journey and my personal thoughts. You have to do what you want. All right. Mari says, I agree with you. Then there's the flip side as you get older, after being a mature adult, that you then start to regret to revert to the IDGAF attitude, not to be mean necessarily, just done with the BS. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And there's definitely times where not caring is important. Where separating off. And I think that for me, that separation point is it harming me or anybody else? No. Okay. Not my business. Not my business, like people used to say, like kind of circling back to what we were saying earlier about, different places spreading rumors about me or whatever, or saying things that weren't accurate. Um, you know, people used to say somebody else's opinion of you is none of your business. And that's something I could never wrap my head around. Like, I hear you, I get you. But my thought process was like, well, yeah, it's my business because like they've got it wrong. And it's up to me to fix that. It's up to me to clear this up. Because if I don't clear it up, then they're going to continue to think that about me. And I don't want them to think that about me. That was kind of what I thought. But now I get it. I get it. It's not my business. It's not my place because again, everybody has their own experiences in life. Everybody has their own background and their own traumas and their own happy times and their own things they value and that all applies in forming an opinion about a person. And for me to say that someone doesn't have a right to have a false opinion about me or dislike me or whatever, or they shouldn't do that, that's not my place. That's not my place because it's based on their valid human experiences growing up and being in their own skin. Why should I be allowed to dictate how somebody feels about me? Like, that's not right. That's not right. Like, it's not my business. Legitimately not. And if people want to know what a truth thing is, then they will come to me and ask me, and I will tell them. But until then, it's not my business. And that's why I've sworn off those sites. And that's why I stopped reading them because I truly digested and truly realized and really believed that it isn't my business. It's not at all. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. And I like sharing this stuff with you because it is a journey. And if I can save somebody some time, by maybe something that I said triggers something in you and helps you to develop in whatever way you want to develop as a person, then that's great. So I like sharing this with you all because maybe we can all kind of grow and learn together through each other's collective experiences. And we can't learn from each other if we don't share what we're going through, you know? Miss Kitty says, my experience with being neurodivergent is that it makes me more empathetic and careful about interactions with people. Me too. Me too. Because I don't want to unintentionally or intentionally hurt someone. Oh, absolutely. 100%. 100%. And for me, a lot of it is my impulsivity, things flying out of my face. And then me realizing, oh crap, I just hurt somebody, or I just said something wrong, or I just did something. And then I fixate on it and it swirls and it swirls and it swirls. Even if it wasn't a big deal, it'll swirl and swirl and swirl and overtake my whole body. And I'll just feel this intense feeling of pain throughout my entire body. And the person is like, I'm fine. But for me, I'm sitting here like, ruminating over this thing that literally nobody cares about but me. So what you're saying here, being more empathetic and careful about interactions with people because I don't want to unintentionally or intentionally hurt someone. For me, that's that. But also I want to avoid the physical pain I feel when I think that I've done something like that because I feel so guilty and so terrible. And awful, that maybe I've offended someone or hurt someone or said something that's made someone feel a certain way. So sometimes I just don't say anything because I'm scared, of hurting that person. So I'm totally with you. I'm totally with you on that, 100%. Yeah, this too. Ooh, stupid pop-ups. PCs, man, all the pop-ups. JD Bird, I love this. I think as you get older, you stop freaking out about things because you've experienced it before and are pretty sure the outcome will not matter. So you get to the point that you do not GAF anymore. Yes, I love that perspective. See, you just brought me to the next level, JD, because absolutely, you're 100% right that when you've like been through a similar situation, you're like, all right, I've done this before, this is going to be fine. So you don't like freak out as much as you would have the first time that you experienced something or made a mistake or whatever. That's a really good point. I love that. And we're going to end live chat on that because JD, I love that so much. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed live chat. I really enjoyed this one. This one I felt like we really, got real deep. And I like that. I like that. I like talking about deep topics and brains and thoughts and social stuff. And I loved this one. This was a really good one. I like every live chat, but I particularly liked this one. I hope that you did too. Just a little scheduling updates of what's happening coming up next Sunday. I don't know if James Charles Part 4 is going up on Friday. I don't think it will. I think I have too much left and I'm not going to rush it. So James Charles Part 4 will most likely be up on September 20th. That is the goal. Then on September, let me see. Hold on, let me look at my phone instead because I do have Creators and Friends Palm Springs coming up that I wanted to give you a heads up about. Yes, so there's going to be normal What's Up and Makeup on the 15th, normal What's Up and Makeup on the 22nd, and then I leave for Creators and Friends Palm Springs with my friend Linda from Glitter Fallout. We are traveling together this time, and I am so excited to travel with Linda because she is the most fun to travel with. I adore her. If you do not know Linda from Glitter Fallout, she has my heart. I love her so much. So Linda and I are traveling together. We're going to Creators and Friends a day early so that we can make sure we're there, we're settled and everything. So that week there will definitely not be a Friday video. And I am not flying back until Friday. So I don't know. I would imagine there's going to be a live chat on the 29th. But as far as content that weekend, oh, I don't know if that's going to be possible. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it together. Maybe I might be able to pull something together, but it's not going to be the regular format of What's Up in Makeup. Might just be like a deep dive into one topic or something. If there's something that's like a main headline, maybe I'll just do like a special edition on that one topic. So we'll cross our fingers something happens to talk about that week. So that's the deal. That's the schedule of what's happening. A lot of people come and they ask, what's happening here and what's happening there. And I like to give you a heads up of like when I'm traveling and stuff. So have a wonderful, wonderful week. Thank you for being here. Mad love to you. And yeah, I will see you next weekend. Oh no, I'll see you tomorrow for product report. It is a big one, my friend. It's juicy. There's a lot going on. See you tomorrow. Bye.